Hello and welcome back. Let's start with a question. Have you ever been in that moment? The one where the air in the room seems to thicken. You see it in her eyes. A shift. A flicker that wasn't there a minute ago. An opening. Maybe it's a smile that lingers, a light touch on your arm, or the way she leans in, closing the distance. And instantly, 1,000 voices scream in your head. This is it. Don't mess this up. What do I say? What's the next move? Your heart hammers. You feel a pull. An urge to act, to seize, to do something before the moment vanishes. And in that rush, in that quiet panic, you do the exact thing that shatters the magic. You become too eager, you fill the space with awkward words, or you lunge in clumsily. And just as quickly as it appeared, it's gone. The softness in her eyes hardens. The energy retreats. She leans back. You're left wondering, what just happened? You saw a spark, and instead of shielding it from the wind, you blew on it too hard. You mistook a profound invitation for presence with a simple cue to act. Today, we are not talking about tactics. We are not talking about lines. We are talking about a fundamental shift in perception. We're talking about why 99% of men fail this silent test, and how you become the one who passes. Because that moment wasn't about her. It was never about her. It was always about you. Before we dive into that first layer, if you are ready for this journey, take 1 second. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. This is a community for men who are choosing the deeper path. And please like this video so we can elevate the conversation together. Layer 1. The fire mirror. The first thing we must understand is this. When you sense attraction or desire from another person, you are not truly seeing them. You are seeing a mirror, that energy she is projecting, that openness, that curiosity, that fire. It acts as a direct mirror reflecting your own internal state. If you feel anxiety, a rush, or a desperate need to possess, it's because her fire has illuminated your own insecurity and emptiness. Your fear of messing it up isn't a fear of disappointing her. It's the fear of confronting your own feeling of unworthiness. I remember years ago, I was with a woman I found incredibly attractive. We were talking and I saw it. That look, I froze. My whole body tensed up. The voice in my head was screaming, "She's into you! Do something!" I started talking faster. I tried to impress. I told a joke that fell flat. I could see, in real time, the light in her eyes dim. She became polite. The moment was dead. I had failed. I went home that night and felt shame. But the shame wasn't that I had lost her. The shame was that I had lost myself. In the moment that demanded my calmest self, I reacted with chaos. Her fire exposed my lack of control. This is the first transformative truth. Your panic is not a response to her attraction. It is the recognition of your own emptiness. She is just holding up the mirror. The question isn't, what should I do to her? The question is, what am I going to do with myself right now? Before you can master any interaction, you must master the space within you. You must face your own fire first. Layer 2. The myth of the green light. For years, we've been programmed to see these signals as a green light, a cue to hit the gas, to move forward, to close the deal. This is one of the most destructive misunderstandings in human relationships. It is not a green light. It is an invitation. A green light implies an action. An invitation implies a presence. When you treat it as a green light, you shift into doing mode. You start running a script. You try to achieve an outcome. You're trying to get from point A to point B, and she can feel that agenda. It feels inauthentic. It feels calculated. When you treat it as an invitation, you shift into being mode. You are not trying to get anywhere. You are right here, in this moment, with her. Psychology calls this the pursuer-distancer dynamic. The moment you begin to pursue, the moment you make it a chase, you activate her instinct to distance. Not because she isn't interested, but because your pursuit has killed the mystery. It has taken the safety out of the space. Think of it like this. When you try to catch a butterfly, it flies away. But if you sit still in the garden, calm and grounded, it may just land on your shoulder all by itself. Human desire works the same way. It is drawn to stillness. It is repelled by force. The challenge here is to break your belief that this moment is scarce. Your rush comes from a scarcity mindset. This is my only chance. But a man of internal value does not operate from scarcity. He operates from fullness. He trusts that his worth is not determined by the outcome of this one interaction. He trusts in his own presence. So when you see that invitation in her eyes, don't hit the gas. Settle in. Breathe. Be present. Ask yourself this question. Do I trust my own value enough to let this moment unfold without forcing it? Layer 3. The alchemist's stance. Now we get to the core of it. This is the principle that will change everything for you. I call it the alchemist's stance. In ancient alchemy, the goal was to transform base metal, like lead, into gold. Fire was the central agent of this transformation. But for the fire to work, you needed one thing, a crucible. A container that could withstand the extreme heat without breaking. If the crucible cracked, the process failed. Most men, when they feel the heat of desire, both theirs and hers, they become the fuel. They burn up. They react. They burst with anxiety or aggression. And they are consumed by it. The rare man, the one who masters this, becomes the crucible. The alchemist's stance is the ability to hold the heat of the moment, to hold the emotional energy, the tension, the anticipation, the fear, the desire, without being broken or consumed by it. You become the safe container for the emotion to happen in. I have a mentor, an older man I deeply respect. He's the calmest man I've ever met. People, both men and women, are just drawn to him. They tell him their deepest secrets. They feel safe around him. One day I asked him his secret. He smiled and said, "Most people are terrified of silence. They're terrified of emotion. They try to fill every space with words or action. I simply provide the space. I become the stillness. And in that stillness, everything real happens." He was a crucible. When you feel that attraction, she is subconsciously testing your crucible. She is asking, not with words, but with energy. Can you handle me? Can you handle this heat? Or are you going to shatter like everyone else? When you rush, you are screaming, "No, I can't!" When you hold steady, when you breathe, when you stay present and calm, you are saying, "I'm not going anywhere. I am here. This space is safe." This is when attraction transforms. It goes from a curious spark to a deep gravitational pull. She isn't just attracted to your looks or your words. She is drawn to the safety of your stability. The challenge for you is, don't be the fuel. Be the crucible. Ask yourself, is my ocean deep enough to hold her wave without capsizing? Layer 4, the language beyond words. We spend our whole lives learning what to say, but we spend almost no time learning how to be. You can say all the right things, but if your energy is off, nothing is right. Modern psychology, especially through polyvagal theory, tells us that our nervous systems are constantly scanning the environment and other people for cues of safety or danger. This happens below the level of conscious thought. When you feel that moment and your anxiety spikes, your nervous system is broadcasting danger or unstable. Your breathing gets shallow. Your voice goes up. Your movements become jerky. She may not consciously know it, but her nervous system does. It picks up your signal and interprets it as, he is not grounded. He is not safe. And she pulls back to protect herself. Conversely, when you hold the alchemist's stance, you do the opposite. You anchor your energy. Your breath slows and deepens down into your belly. Your shoulders drop. Your voice may lower, becoming more deliberate. Your gaze holds, not as a predator, but as a witness. This sends a powerful biological signal to her nervous system. He is stable. He is safe. I can relax. And what happens when she relaxes on a biological level? Her defensive walls come down. The opening you saw at the beginning doesn't just return. It deepens. Because now it's not just based on curiosity, it's based on a felt sense of safety. Think of your energy as the music and your words as the lyrics. Most men are worried about the lyrics, but she is listening to the melody. If the melody is anxious, rushed, and out of tune, the lyrics don't matter. But if your melody is calm, grounded, and confident, you can say very little and still communicate everything. I have a friend who is a therapist. He told me the biggest breakthroughs in his sessions never come from a question he asks. They come from the silence he holds. In that deliberate, calm silence, the client feels safe enough to find the truth for themselves. Your interaction is the same. Your calm presence is what allows something real to emerge. Don't try to create a connection. Create the safe space for connection to happen. Ask yourself this question. If I couldn't say a single word, what would my presence say about me? Layer 5, from hunger to depth. There are two basic kinds of desire we operate from, and the one you embody will determine everything. The first type is hunger. Hunger is lack. It seeks to consume. It's the I need driver. I need validation. I need attention. I need a physical outcome. Hunger is selfish. It's fast, impulsive, and always leaves you feeling empty, even if it gets what it wants. When you act from hunger, you are trying to get something from her. The second type is depth. Depth is fullness. It seeks to connect. It's the I see driver. I see you. I am curious. I am present. Depth is patient. It's deliberate. It seeks to understand, not to possess. When you act from depth, you are giving something. Your presence, your stability, your witness. A woman, on an instinctual level, can smell hunger a mile away. It repels her. It signals desperation. It signals a man who is a slave to his impulses. A slave. On the other hand, she is drawn to depth, because depth is rare. Depth signals a man who is a master of himself. A man who is so internally full that he doesn't need to get anything. A master. Think about this in your career. There's the job you do for money, hunger, and there's the work you do because it's your mission, depth. Which one fulfills you? Which one creates the most lasting value? It's the same distinction. When you feel that moment, stop and check your motive. Are you feeling hunger or depth? If it's hunger, that tight, anxious, I need, just recognize it. Don't act on it. Just breathe into it. Come back to your body. Feel your feet on the ground. Then, consciously shift into depth. Instead of thinking, what can I get here? Think, what can I bring to this moment? The answer is almost always, my calm, my undivided attention, my genuine curiosity. Instead of rushing to say something impressive, hunger, ask an open-ended question, depth. What's bringing you that smile? What's really on your mind right now? The man driven by hunger will always be a boy. The man who cultivates depth becomes a king. Ask yourself, when I look at her, do I feel the hunger to possess or the curiosity to understand? Layer 6, the sacred space. When a person, any person, but especially a woman in this context, shows you that flicker of openness, she is doing more than flirting. She is showing you a vulnerable part of herself. She is trusting you for a millisecond with her softness. In our culture, that kind of openness is often punished, taken advantage of, or ridiculed. So for her to show it is an act of courage. You have just entered the sacred space. What you do next is not just a social tactic. It is a spiritual responsibility. 99% of men will violate that space. They see vulnerability as permission to take. They rush in with their hunger. They break the trust. The man of depth, the alchemist, recognizes the sanctity of the moment. His instinct is not to take, but to protect. Protect it from what? Protect it from his own impulses. Protect it from awkwardness. Protect it from being rushed. He does this by holding the space. He becomes the guardian of the moment. Imagine you are holding a small bird in your hands. If you grip it tightly to keep it, you will kill it. If you panic and jerk your hands, it will fly away. You simply hold your palm open, steady. You provide a safe place for it to be. This is what you do with your presence. The story I told about my friend, who confessed his deepest fear to me. My instinct was to fix it. "Oh, you shouldn't feel that way." Or, "Here's what you should do." That would have been hunger. That would have been a violation. Instead, I just breathed and held the space. I just listened. I witnessed his pain without needing to change it. And at the end, he said, "Thank you. I feel lighter. I did nothing. I was present." When you are in that moment with her and she shows you that opening, treat it as sacred space. Don't talk about yourself. Don't try to impress. Witness her. Hold eye contact. Not a predatory stare, but an "I see you" gaze. Smile. Not a smug grin, but an "I am here with you" smile. And be silent. Let the silence do the work. Let her feel safe being herself in front of you. This is what she will never forget. Not your words, not your looks, but the profound feeling of safety in your presence. The challenge, your impulse, is to take. The sacred duty is to protect. Can you protect the vulnerability she is showing you, even from your own impulses? Ask yourself this question. Can you be the one man who demands nothing from her, and in doing so become the one she wants to give everything to? Layer 7. The echo of stillness. What we are talking about here is not a technique to get the girl. This is a practice to become the man, because the truth is, the outside world, and this woman in front of you, is a mirror. An echo. It doesn't bring you what you want. It brings you what you are. If you are chaotic, needy, and reactive, you will attract chaotic interactions, and you will repel peace. If you are grounded, full, and deliberate, you will become a gravitational force for real, deep connection. You do not control her. You never did. You do not control the outcome. All you have ever controlled is your own response, your own being, your own crucible. And here is the magic. When you focus entirely on mastering your internal space, on staying calm, on being present, on acting from depth and not hunger, the outside world begins to change to match it. You stop chasing, and you start attracting. The man who rushes in, who acts from hunger, even if he succeeds in that moment, he has failed the larger test. The relationship, if one forms, will be built on a foundation of insecurity and pursuit. But the man who holds steady, the alchemist, the guardian of the sacred space, he leaves an imprint. He is the stone dropped in a still lake. His action, or his deliberate lack of action, is small, but the ripples, the echo of his stillness, spread outward and define the entire experience. She may not remember what you said, but she will never forget how she felt in your presence. She will remember that with you she felt safe. She felt seen. She felt peace. And in our chaotic, noisy world, that feeling is more addictive than any physical attraction. This is the ultimate transformation. It's not about learning how to handle women. It's about learning how to master yourself. When you master yourself, every interaction takes care of itself. The exercise. The anchor. Breath. I want to leave you with a practice. It's simple, but it is profound. Don't just do it now. Make it a part of your daily life. I call it the anchor breath. Anytime you feel that spike of anxiety, not just with women, but in a work meeting, in traffic, anytime, this is what you do. Feel the ground. Whether you are standing or sitting, feel your feet on the floor. Feel the solidness of the earth beneath you. Imagine roots growing from the soles of your feet, deep into the ground. You are supported. You are stable. Breathe into your belly. Take a slow breath in through your nose, but don't breathe into your chest. Breathe into your belly. Let it expand like a balloon. Count to 4 as you inhale. Hold. Hold that breath for a count of 4. In this 4-second pause, feel the stillness. This is the eye of the storm. This is the crucible. Exhale. Exhale slowly through your mouth. Slower than your inhale, to a count of 6 or 7. As you exhale, imagine you are releasing all the chaos, all the rush, all the hunger. Let your shoulders drop. Repeat this 3 times. That's it. This exercise does 2 things. Biologically, it activates your parasympathetic nervous system, your rest and digest response. Pulling you out of fight or flight, it physically calms you down. Spiritually, it trains you to be the alchemist. It teaches you to find your stillness in the middle of the heat. Practice this. When you're in line at the store, before you make a phone call, and the next time you are in that moment, and you see that look in her eyes, you will know exactly what to do. You will do nothing. You will breathe. You will anchor. And you will be. Thank you for taking the time to go deeper. This is not an easy path, but it is the only one that truly matters. Don't just chase the sparks. Become the stillness that draws the flame. Become the crucible. Live a life of meaning.